Mike, turn your games down.
Hi, everyone. Episode 281 of Games My Mom Found. I am Mike Albertin, and who's dicing and slicing with me tonight?
That's Michael Colby from Jack Billings Presents and This Bizarre Adventure.
Welcome.
I do comedy because it is the right thing to do for humanity. It's Nate. That was my best write-in impression.
And Nate, where can people find you at, since you just mentioned it, kind of?
Oh, yeah. You can find me. If you live in Ohio, you can find me at open mics and on TikTok at Nate Does Comedy 79, where I still have not posted any more TikToks, but two of them. I'm very, very, very busy.
It sounded like it from in the green room when we talked before. So we are here to talk about a game that I'm surprised I put on the show. Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, developed by Platinum Games and published by Konami, came out in 2013. Can't believe this game is over 10 years old.
I remember when this game came out, I played the demo and you slice up a watermelon. And I said, I don't think I need to play the game. Like, I think I got the whole gist.
Wow. I remember when this game came out and I didn't play it because I was like, ugh, another Metal Gear game. And I was wrong because this is not another Metal Gear game.
So, Colby, are you a Metal Gear fan?
No.
Okay.
I am a Metal Gear Rising Revengeance fan.
Okay, no, that's fair. I'm a huge Metal Gear fan. Love the series. I have never played 5, unfortunately, but I love the damn series.
As a fellow Metal Gear Solid fan, you don't need to play 5.
Yes, I do, just because. Well, I need to talk about it and cover it, so then it fits in the series where I have all the Metal Gears completed on this podcast, and I feel really cool about myself.
I couldn't get past the opening of Metal Gear 5 because I already wasn't a fan of Metal Gear. Like, I think it's too convoluted. I don't think it's very fun to play. Like, I don't like Kojima's writing necessarily. I like that he exists and that he makes games. They're just not for me, so that's fine. But, like, when I was playing 5, the beginning, the, like, opening sequence is so slow that, like, by the time I was a half an hour into it, I was like, I don't care enough to play this game anymore.
No, that's fair for Metal Gear.
I know we're not talking about Metal Gear Solid 5, but as someone who thinks Metal Gear Solid 1 through 4 is the perfect amount of crazy and also cool, Metal Gear Solid 5 I was very hyped for. I put like 80 hours into it, like the first couple days it was out, like, and then I got to, but like as I played more, I was just like, I don't think I really care for what, like, I think Kojima is starting to get up his own butt. You know, I was like, this just
think Kojima is starting to get up his own butt.
That is how I felt with Metal Gear Solid 5.
Well, I think
that's how I felt about Metal Gear Solid 1. Was that Kojima was too far up his own butt for my liking.
And then like the Death Stranding trailer, the first Death Stranding trailer came out, and I was like, yeah, I think this guy just thinks that, like, if you have confusing shots and like very, I don't know, just very out of context lines, like, it creates mystery. And it's like, no, the mystery has to be like something like I want to know about. Like, you're showing me things I don't know anything about and I don't care. Like, you know.
I'm a huge fan of the series. I have not, like I said, I have not played 5, but I'm trying to remedy that and play more, and that's how this ended up happening. Plus, I think Colby had said something about liking this game at one point, and if I know of at least one person that will guess on an episode where I can at least then record it, that will help push it onto the show. And then Nate had got suckered into this too.
Yeah. Well, because I'm a big Metal Gear Solid fan, and like I said, I never played this one. I thought slicing up the watermelon in the demo was cool. I was like, that's all I need, man. Like,
this was your first time playing it? This
was my first time.
Wow. I should start with the memories, because I'm all off track, apparently. You kind of said yours, but like for me, I don't remember when I played this, but it was probably 2014 or 2015. Got it for cheap on a GameFly sale, played through it once. No, I didn't play through it then. I got it for GameFly sale. I didn't play this until later, 2018, 2019 on PS3, because I bought another copy, and then I played it for this podcast again. Colby, what about you? What's your history with this game?
I didn't play it. Like I said, I wasn't a Metal Gear fan. So I kind of skipped this one, and then I got it on sale on Xbox 360 for like really cheap. And I'll buy just about anything if I can find it for like $5 for a physical copy. And it sort of sat on my shelf for a long time. And then last year, I played it here and there, and I liked the combat in it, but like I didn't really care. And then last year, I worked at this convention where David Hayter and Cam Clark and Quentin Flynn, the guys who played Solid Snake, Liquid Snake, and Raiden, I worked for those guys, and they were like really nice. And I was like, I'm gonna try to play one of the games that that this guy is in, because I was mostly with Quentin, and like people were like obsessed with this Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, and I'm like, all right, maybe I'll try this again. And I played through it, and I was like, holy shit, I shouldn't have skipped on this one for as long as I did. But yeah, it's really a cool game. I think it's my favorite platinum game.
Okay, that's big praise.
Yeah.
I know you love Bayonetta 1, so that's big praise.
Man, yeah, Bayonetta 2 is my favorite platinum game.
I haven't played most of their games, unfortunately, but I do like this one.
It was Nier Automata up until I played this.
Okay. Like, one of the things about this game that I had completely forgotten that this is actually part of the story of Metal Gear. This is the farthest stuff we have gotten in the timeline of Metal Gear, and probably the farthest we'll ever get at this rate at this point, because it's done. But this game takes place a couple years after Metal Gear Solid 4, and originally it was supposed to take place after 2, but before 4, to show how Raiden became a cyborg. And instead they went a different route, and it's Raiden's a cyborg after the end of Metal Gear Solid 4. The Patriots are gone, and he works for a private military contractor. But I mean, I like the story. Like I'm as a guy who recently played 4, I think it was last year, the year before this podcast, I can't remember. Like, I was excited to see more of the story of what continues on. I didn't realize this until I was watching a very bad YouTube video where they were talking about that in Metal Gear Solid 4, Raiden is captured and then turned into the cyborg, but not by choice. And then in the end of Metal Gear Solid 4, he looks more human. And then when you come to this, he's completely a cyborg, and then even more of a cyborg after he gets his arm cut off and an eye cut out. So he gets his ass handed to him in this.
Yeah, he certainly does.
I was super into the story at first, and then
Nanomachine.
And then I met a kid who I'm still trying to figure out is a stereotype. Like, I cannot tell if it's actually good, like actual good representation, or if it's just like, this is what we think these people sound like, you know?
I think it's meant to be goofy. Like, everything in this game is goofy. Like, it's meant to be over the top.
Because the thing, okay, so the thing that I was just like, it's the kid who is from Jamaica. I don't know, like, I feel like it might be pushing stereotype because, like, when you have subtitles on, it has the subtitles for what he's saying, and then in parentheses, it has a translation of what he's saying.
Yes.
And I'm like, I know what he's saying, though. Like, you don't
I didn't, to be fair.
Know, really?
Yeah,
like,
there were a couple times where I was like, what the fuck is this kid saying? Because it's heavy slang.
Well, in Grand Theft Auto 4, there is a Jamaican character named Jacob, and with subtitles on, they do not translate anything he's saying. Like, but it's very clear, like, through context, you know, like what their characters are talking about in that game. Like, you can tell, like, oh, this is, you know, what he's saying. And then you get to this game, and it's like, yeah, through context, I can kind of tell, like, what he's saying, but they felt the need to put the parentheses translation. And I'm like, I don't think you need to do that. And that just makes him feel more like a stereotype and not just like, oh, this character is from Jamaica because they're kidnapping kids, like, from all over.
I like the translation because I wouldn't understand nothing he's saying. So, I mean, there were multiple times, but again, it's not important because you're not playing this for listening to some little kid talk crazy.
Yeah, but then he becomes, sorry, Colby, but then he becomes like part of the story. Like, you know, he's not just like some side character. Then they're like, oh, they're kidnapping kids and harvesting their brains to turn more, like, to create more super soldiers. Like, so you can't ignore him, you know?
No, I mean, he's part of the story, but hey, he starts off with a Ninja Turtles reference, so Turtles 2 reference.
True. Yeah, that's true.
He's like, Cowabunga! And he's like, go ninja, go ninja! And I'm like, man, that's a deep cut there.
Yeah,
Anyway.
the I think the writing is like better in this than like most of the Metal Gear because it makes sense, like it all makes sense, but they do a thing where they're like, oh, this is a Metal Gear game, so we do have to throw pop culture references in because that's what Kojima would do. And I think that a lot of those are kind of just crammed in there. They feel off.
It didn't bother me, but I'm also a sucker for all that. Also, Kojima somehow predicts the future, but we are not going to get there at the moment. But I don't think he was heavily involved with this game because this game was originally being developed by Konami, but then Konami, but then they screwed up and couldn't get anywhere, so then it pretty much got sent to Platinum Games.
You know how I know Kojima wasn't involved at all is because there wasn't like a 5-minute cutscene where Raiden described every little detail about his sword.
Yeah.
Fair. Well, and there aren't
to be fair,
long cutscenes for an action game.
Yeah,
but there's not a ton of them. There's not any like real nothing crazy happens in this game compared to like what you would normally see in a Metal Gear Solid game.
Yeah, that's what I meant. It's obviously not written by Kojima, but it's written by fans of Kojima who are like, oh, Kojima would have put a weird movie reference in here, so let's do that. But they don't have it seemed like they didn't have the like obscure movie knowledge that Kojima does, so they're like, all right, let's just jam in a Ninja Turtles 2 reference.
But it's hilarious because even if you didn't know what it was, I still think it fits that some kids like, go Ninja, go Ninja.
Oh yeah.
No,
it fits.
I'm not talking shit on the writing. I'm just saying that's what it seemed like. Like I liked the story of this game. Like I think it's like it's got the Metal Gear like political intrigue and the espionage and all that stuff, but like it's written by, let's say, sane people, so like it's understandable. Like so I do like the writing. It's just that like it felt like they said, all right, we have this game written, now we have to make it feel like a Kojima game, so we're gonna put this stuff in there.
I think he was somewhat involved, but not very much, because I think he was working on 5 at the time.
I can tell you he was involved in that scene where the senator looks between his legs and sees Raiden running at him. That is a Kojima move.
I like that scene, and we will be talking about that senator way later, because I need to get everything else out before I go on my rant. Because people might tune out when I start my rant, so we're going to wait on that.
Also, I feel Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 is pretty obscure. Like that was like one of the first movies I remember watching. So I love that movie, even though I'm sure it doesn't hold up as well as I want it to. It does?
I mean, it's corny, but if you're thinking of like a kid's movie, it still holds up.
Dude, that scene where they're in the lab throwing the ooze around while they're fighting the Foot Clan funny. Is so good.
1 is better, but 2 is still good. I watched it for the show a few years ago, and I enjoyed it still. So I think you can still have fun with that movie.
I don't think I had fun with 2 when it came out.
I mean, this game did some interesting, like we were saying about the writing. Like I liked it. I liked it that they were able to continue the story in a way for Metal Gear, but also like leave it completely open for other things to happen that will never happen. Like, because this is Raiden's story. I mean, there's no, Solid Snake is dead at this point. I'm pretty sure dead, or at least old as hell and no longer involved. Like, I think it's a few years. I think it's 2 or 3 years after Metal Gear Solid 4. I know they say, but I can't remember.
Yeah, it's very shortly after 4. I think you're right. I think it is like 2 or 3 years.
It's not very long, but the Patriots are gone.
It started off shortly after 4, and then there's like a 10-year time skip.
Is that how long that time skip is?
I feel like, because I feel like he gets the new body. I thought it was significantly further away, because Sonny is like 18, like 17 or 18. I
wouldn't say Sonny's 18.
He can't work for the government.
We could find out, by the way, if we really.
Yeah, I don't think it's that long. Like between when he gets like his.
Set 4 years after the events of Metal Gear Solid 4: Guns of the Patriots.
Okay.
The opening or the entire, like the rest of it after
he gets his ass handed to him by
it doesn't
Jetstream
say.
Sam.
It just says 4 years later. I'm I don't see anything about it being how long it is after
Yeah,
you get set up.
I don't think it's that long
No, I don't
after
think
it
it's very
gets the
long.
new body.
I
don't think
took it as further, but yeah, maybe it's 4 years. I feel
Yeah.
like they tell you in between the cutscenes,
They
like
might.
between that first chapter and the next one.
this
This game
is
2 weeks ago?
still a Metal Gear game, so there is a lot to pay attention to. So
Yeah,
I don't
and
think
I
anybody
like
can
that.
blame you for missing something.
I mean, I like that they work the codec calls in, but now instead of a codec, it's like a little screen pops up and they talk, and your guys talk to you, and you can still call them. And they try to keep all the moments of Metal Gear and some of the stuff that makes a Metal Gear, but make this an action game set in that universe. And great. Like, to go back to what Nate had said in the very beginning, I mean, like that demo that never actually came out, where they originally first had you cutting the watermelon, where the whole idea was you could cut however you wanted to, but then the game went nowhere because it was bad.
I'm sorry, what do you mean the demo never came out?
No, I mean, the game never came out of that demo. What you play
Didn't
the
we just
demo
play
is not
it?
what we get in the end.
Oh,
Because the
It's
demo
not-
was the original, like, idea of what they were working on.
Yeah.
I mean, that might have been in the real game, but like what they were making, where you could, like, the idea was you could slice a watermelon, you could slice a pipe, anything you see you could cut up, and that was going to be part of the gameplay. But it didn't, like, they couldn't make it into a full-fledged game. Then they gave it up to Platinum and gave what they did, and Platinum made it.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
mean, like, the demo came out, but I mean, like, the idea of what they were doing from that demo, never really came to fruition.
Yeah, the fact that you
Oh,
could cut up
okay.
anything. Like
Yeah.
the way that the swordplay works is really cool. I think
Yes.
because Platinum is a little bit too mashy normally for me, so throwing in something like this was like, it was such a breath of fresh air, especially after playing Bayonetta and just jamming on that B button or whatever it is on the Nintendo controller. So like, to have something with a little bit of finesse and like nuance, I was like, this rules. And like, the voice acting is all good. I thought the story was good. So yeah, but yeah, it would have been cool to have a game where you could slice anything any way that you wanted to and have it react like you were actually doing it. But there is no way that the Xbox 360 had the processing power to do
No.
something like that.
I mean, to compute that, even then, like, all the different variations that you'd have to program for, I
Yeah.
feel like I'm not a programmer. I don't really know how that works, but that just seems like not something feasible in where we're at yet, even
Yeah.
now.
and even
I don't know.
to program it, I think you could probably do it technically now, but to program something like that has got to be a nightmare.
I feel like I was still cutting things on the side, like
No, you can.
pretty consistently. Like, maybe not like every fence I came to I could cut through, but like even in some of the interior scenes, like I was cutting through like pipes and like
Yeah, you can.
I want to say cubicle walls, but I don't actually know if that's
You can
true.
cut
I
through-
played this 2 weeks ago.
You can cut through a lot. It's just not what they originally had planned. That's all. I mean, they still
That's still
did
pretty impressive though. Like,
No, it still is.
yeah, but okay.
That's
thought-
all. I mean, that's just more of the background of what happened originally with this game.
See, I thought that demo just existed to be like, look what it like. This is how the cut mechanic works. And I didn't take it necessarily as I'm going to be able to cut anything in this game. I took it as like, I hold L2 and then I can like aim where I cut. And
I
you
do
just
like
slice through it. And I thought that
I
was
like
cool.
how I love slicing guys up too, like especially when you hurt them enough and you can cut off their arms, cut off their head, and then cut through their chest and pull out their spine to heal yourself.
Dude, there was one combat encounter where I thought I had killed the like small. I don't know if they're actually geckos, but they're like the smaller versions of it,
They're
like that
geckos.
you fight. Oh, okay, the geckos then, where I thought I had killed it because I had cut off its legs and its arms, and it was just lying there, but I couldn't progress. And I was like, what the fuck do I do? Like, I was like, I need to go up this building, but like I can't leave. And then like on my mini map, I had the red dot, and I was like, oh, I left a guy alive. And it was the gecko. And I was like, oh my God, dude, I'm so sorry. Let me put you out of your misery real quick.
I love seeing the geckos again, like having that reference to Metal Gear Solid 4 and stuff like that really made me happy that it's in this game. I mean, otherwise, the enemies, nothing else is from 4, just the geckos, which it's fine. I mean, I don't think
those little, I mean, you played 4 more recently than I,
the little
the
ball
black
thing with
rolly
the
things.
arms.
Yeah,
They were in
think
4,
those are
weren't
in
they?
4, right? Like Drebin has something to do with
It's been
them.
a while.
Yeah, see, I haven't played that game since like this game was coming out. So
Yeah, I mean, I played it a couple years ago, but I don't even remember a whole lot of it either. It wasn't that long ago because I was working where I work now. So, yeah, but I can't remember. Go look at that episode. Go listen to what I said. I don't remember. That's what happens when you make too many of these. You don't remember what the fuck you say.
Yeah, I hate that. I do that all the time. I'm like, yeah, and or even I'll play something again and then have a completely different, and then I'll be on even this show, and you're like, that's not what you said last time we talked about this, and I'm like, I don't remember what I said 3 weeks ago.
That's the beauty of podcasts. It's all in records. It doesn't matter.
But yeah, I think that's like at least my general view of the game. If we're gonna get into details,
Not yet, not for that part. But okay, like I mean, the basic and the game. I mean, the whole game is that you're the beginning is you're going through. Raiden works for a PMC, I guess, and he's supposed to protect this prime minister that he's friends with, but things go awful and prime minister gets murdered. So then he ends up going on essentially a mission of revenge. Funny, goes with the name, to hunt down the PMC that was part of that killed his friend, and that's his whole goal in life, pretty much. After that, that's why you're going on the mission that you're doing, is to hunt down the guys. And Jetstream Sam becomes your rival as one of the guys part of that PMC, which is not the leader. I found out ended up in the very beginning of the game, fucks you up, cuts off your arm, cuts your eye out, then you get a new cyborg body, and you're all badass looking. That's what we were talking about off and on. You also do get I think 3 different weapons in this game, even though I didn't use anything, but you do get different weapons.
I was saving up for Gray Fox's sword. And
I didn't get that. I did get the outfit, and that's all I used the rest of the game.
Dude, same. I got that outfit, and I said,
awesome.
I don't need any. I wish they had gotten the voice actor. That would have been fun. Maybe like a New Game Plus playthrough, everything is said with Gray Fox.
It's Konami. You've really seen them spend that kind of money?
at that point, yes. At that point,
well,
Konami
I don't know,
was
because
into making video games.
that's a year after the Silent Hill HD collection, and they couldn't even give support to get them a good copy or a good version of Silent Hill 2. They gave them the beta version because that's all they had, and then they said, oh yeah, 2012. And I love that HD collection. I know we talked about it in the Discord, Colby.
Yeah.
Just so we know, everybody knows, I love that HD collection, but Konami could have given those guys some more support than just hey, here's an unfinished build, figure it out.
Hey, join our Discord.
Troy Baker is now James. Enjoy.
No, you're not wrong. They could have done so much more, but they just don't care. That's Konami in a nutshell. They just do not care about stuff like that, like they should.
And that's too bad, because I stand by that they make the best video games.
They have made some great ones.
They've made some great ass video games.
I mean, this game is this game is short. It's 6 hours long, but I did not make an angry TikTok complaining about it. I'm actually very happy with the length of this game.
Yeah. That's how long an action game should be.
I wouldn't want this game to go on too long, or it would overstay its welcome for me.
Yeah, for sure.
I would
If
get
it had
tired
gone
of
on
it.
any longer, I would have told you that I can't make the episode. I would please free me.
No, that sounds accurate. I know how busy you are right now after our conversation, so
No, I
get it.
I don't like this game.
What? You didn't?
No.
Wow. Okay, I didn't see that coming.
I had to force myself to sit down and play it. And every chapter end, I was like, thank God, I'm so close. I'm one step closer. I just did not like it. I thought the beginning was really strong, and I was very excited to fight Jetstream Sam. I was like, me and you, bro, your name is fucking Jetstream Sam, dude. What are you going to do? I'm riding. And then, and then the plot kind of went off the rails like a Metal Gear Solid game normally does, but just a little too far off for me. But then it brought it back with the Senator. I was like, okay, that fight's really good. But let's see, what was I saying? Oh, the gameplay. No, the parry button being the attack button, and you have to time it, and the game is ridiculously strict with it, even on easy. I was like, what are we doing here? Bayonetta released 2008, I want to say, and that game had a parry or at least a good dodge, I don't think Bayonetta 1 had a parry, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, but it had a really good feeling dodge, and you can't give that to my boy Raiden? What are we doing here?
I disagree with that. I thought the dodge in Bayonetta feels terrible. It's like,
Oh man,
not nearly as responsive as I would have hoped for.
When you pull off that dodge and get into witch time, nothing feels better.
Yeah, if you pull it off, but it's not as tight as you need it to be.
I would like to say I'm very, very bad at action games.
I am too.
But I was getting consistently. I played the Switch version of Bayonetta 1, so maybe just it was running better than like a PS3 or Xbox 360 copy, but it felt pretty responsive to me, But I hit the wall with the dog on normal, and I was like, I'm bad at action games, but I'm not that bad at action games.
I thought that Metal Gear Solid Rising Revengeance had a Dark Souls level of like control over your character. Like everything was precise, exactly how I felt it should be. And maybe I'm tuned to like sort of the Dark Souls timing, but Bayonetta felt bad to me. Like it never felt tight enough. And this feels sort of exactly how it needed to be to do what it was doing.
I've played through every Souls game, and I think this is the hardest combat in any game. Okay. Just because the parry being the attack and the attack animations from the enemies, like I don't know when to parry. There's no tell. It's like sometimes I would hit a parry and be like, oh, okay, that's the animation where I need to hit the I think it's the X button to attack, and then I would try it again. And Raiden would just take a big old hit to the face. And I'm like, okay, maybe I didn't do it good enough. And then just fighting the dog, like the lock on camera just did not feel good. Trying to parry the dog's attacks, trying to like jump over the dog's attacks too. Cause I was like, maybe I need to play this more like Sekiro, which Sekiro is peak combat, everybody. But
did you play this on easy or normal?
I started on normal and I got to that goddamn cool ass dog, and because I will admit I love that dog in me. I was like, this guy's the best, and I couldn't do it. Like I kept dying. I died like 5 times, and I said, you know what, I'm just gonna bump it down to easy. And at first I tried without the parry assist, but I was still just like not getting the parry down, and I was still dying. I said, okay, so I had to restart it again. Damn. This time I turned on parry assist because I was just like, I don't know what the fuck the timing the parries are for. Like there's no tutorial. I looked in the help menu. Like I had to Google, does this game have a parry button? And that's when I found out, oh, you hit the X button when they attack.
Can I ask, what were you playing this on? Like what's your TV situation and what were you playing it on?
Oh man, you know the TV VCR combos?
Yeah.
No. I was playing on Steam Deck.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I have my Xbox setting. I have my Xbox 360 hooked up to like an old ass plasma flat screen TV, and maybe it's a like a latency thing because
it could very well be.
This game felt so good to me. I played through on normal with very little problems. I think it sounds like it was a latency thing because like I'm listening to you talk and I'm like, this is a completely different experience than what I had.
Because I played this on the Steam Deck too, because just like Nate, I could. Mm-hmm. But I also played on easy I ended up turning on the assist so it would automatically block for me, and I didn't parry a whole lot either because I just couldn't get it to work. So it could have been that.
With parry assist, I was hitting it pretty consistently. I don't know if that was your experience. To where I even made I started a second save file because I wasn't gonna restart this goddamn game the 4th time, and then I wasn't getting on easy without parry assist, and I was still just missing them, and I was like, I don't understand, but whatever. I'll just play through the game and enjoy the spectacle of the fights where I feel like I'm a god gamer, but.
I parried sometime, but I was playing this very quickly because time. Well, I put myself in kind of a pickle with the podcast with trying to get shit done, but that's not this game's fault. But no, I mean, I don't know. I didn't really. I mean, I think I parried quite often, but I didn't really have an issue. But I also just killed things so quickly, it didn't even matter half the time.
Also, I got stuck in an interior in that where you're trying to find the lab, I think. and where your sneaky is the roly-poly things with 3 arms. I got stuck there. And
That's
that took like 15, 20 minutes, and I was getting a little frustrated because I was like, I don't know where you want me to go. Like
I had a guide.
I was like, I don't know what you want me to do.
I got confused too. Like I couldn't figure out what I was supposed to do, and I looked up. So I just pulled up my guide, and I think it said like, "Oh, climb up this vent." I'm like, "Oh, okay, thank you."
I was doing
simple
trick shots. I was jumping to the top of the vents. I was like, I was like, I don't understand where I'm supposed to go. Like maybe
We were thinking harder than you needed to.
Yes,
I've done. Yeah, no, that's fair.
a
That's
common
just
problem for me.
Yeah, overthinking, especially in situations like that. Like, that's the only time I get stuck in like a Metroid game is when I'm thinking about it too much. But otherwise, it's like, oh yeah, of course that's where it is.
Normally, my partner watches me play or is in the same room as me when I play games, and every once in a while she'll look up, and if I'm stuck on a part, like she's so good. She has such good eyesight. She'll be like, "There's a door right there," and I'm like, "Oh fuck, dude, you're right." She goes, "Were you lost?" I go, "No, I was looking for collectibles."
All of a sudden his nose got longer. He's like, that's funny. But no, sometimes it also does help to have another pair of eyes. And women are smart.
Oh, for sure.
I know I've done like I was playing Kingdom Hearts yesterday, and I was having an issue with a rhythm part. My wife's like, "Just let me do it." I'm like, but sometimes that just happens in games. Sometimes you just need someone else to look at it. And this game is so much of run straight from point A to point B and kill things that when it does do that little shift, it's like brain doesn't want to figure it out.
Yeah, like if I was Raiden and I didn't have to because you have to stealth those guards, because I feel like they were omniscient. They were like, "I hear you," and then they were on me. So like you had to stealth those guards. But like I feel like if I was Raiden, that'd be cool. Like
I didn't have that problem. Like I stealthed all of them with no issue, and I wasn't really trying that hard.
Bro, I
He
think
just didn't notice me.
I think we're about to find out I'm bad at video games.
Wait, this is the guy that has how many platinums, buddy? How many platinums?
I'm at 51.
Okay.
Brag.
I have 0.
And I'm going for the Silent Hill 2 platinum right now, everybody.
I mean, 1 for lack of trying, but honestly, I don't think I could do it even when I was trying for achievements. I think my 1,000 point was like less than 5, and one of those is Avatar. So
it helps me save money because I go like I'm just gonna go super hard into this game.
hey, if you enjoy it,
I'm not buying things. Sometimes I enjoy it. That God of War platinum, I would not say I enjoyed that experience.
So I assume you didn't get the platinum for this platinum game, did you? There.
No, I beat the game. I got the hell out of there. I uninstalled it. I said done.
I did too. I mean, I do it anyway. But like, as soon as I beat this game, I just uninstalled it. But that's just me. And my Steam Deck doesn't have very much memory because I bought the cheap one. Because I'm a cheap bastard.
Hey, same.
I regret it, by the way. I regret it. I didn't buy the bigger one. No, I mean, this game was fine on Steam Deck, but I bet Colby is right that there was a bit of latency issue or something that we were having, or we just apparently suck at video games.
I don't think that. I mean, I know that you suck at video games, Mike, but I don't think it could have been that big of a difference. So it had to have been a latency thing, because I specifically have my older consoles hooked up to that plasma because of like latency. Like I played DJ Hero on 360, and it's like if I try to hook that thing up to like a newer TV, it's insane. Like it's insane to like calibrate that stuff to make it feel good to play. But on that plasma TV, it feels great. So I do have a feeling that had something to do with it.
I mean, I just wasn't sometimes I'm also not in the right mindset for a game. Like Nate, it's not like you weren't in the right mindset either for this game at the time.
No, it wasn't a JRPG, so.
And sometimes that does happen. I mean, I have played multiple games on the show where it's just not. It doesn't come at the right week. The weirdest thing when I write the schedule sometime a year in advance, I can't predict how things are going to be that week for my life. It's weird. But sometimes the games just don't hit right, and I think that was like. I mean, I had a great time. Like, let's not say I didn't, but I did have an issue sometimes with some of the combat. I only died a couple times. I died on Monsoon, and I died on the final boss. That was really about it. I didn't die too often.
Yeah, I feel weird being the one who's like the highest on a game on this show. This is not where I'm comfortable.
No, I did enjoy this game a lot, so I don't want to say that I didn't. Like, I do want to talk about this game does a great job, I felt, with the bosses too, and it really does capture a good team of bosses, which Metal Gear is famous for. Like in this game, first you have the dog a robotic dog that you fight, and then you change his AI and he joins you. Then you have a woman that uses these are all cyborgs too. And the woman uses the little armed guys that you fight earlier and rips off their arms and attaches to her back, so she has like 10 or 20 arms to beat the shit out of you.
Yeah,
it's great.
That's such a cool fight. All the boss fights are cool.
Yeah, the boss fights are so cool. Like, I don't know. I think if Kojima had anything to do with this game, it was probably boss design. Because that's one thing I will give Kojima credit for. He is great at bosses.
I don't think he was involved. I mean, because if you think about Konami, I didn't look up the years, but when they're doing Metal Gear Solid 5, they're slowly starting to change the locks on him and kick him out the door.
Also, he could not have been involved with the lady cyborg because she would have been like sexualized in some weird way.
Yes.
So he was not involved.
He does like to do that.
Uncomfortably so. Like, chill.
I've never played
like,
5, but I know of Quiet.
Porn exists, man. Like, you can just go on the internet now and just Google porn. You'll find something, Kojima.
Like, but see, at one time it didn't that easily. So
the future is now.
Hey, I mean, this game did predict something in the future.
Let's play.
We're not going there yet. Don't worry.
Let's play a little hypothetical game. All right. Let's say Kojima got to make Silent Hills. Would that scary, freaky lady from PT been sexualized?
Absolutely.
What are you talking about? I never played PT.
Like the camera would like slink up behind her and like just linger a little too long on her butt, you know?
Yep.
Like, anyway.
Most likely. Because he likes to, that's Kojima.
She has to wear that nightgown to sneak through the house.
I thought she was a good boss. Who's after her? Is that Monsoon?
I think it is Monsoon, because that's on top of the building.
Yeah, because after you kill her, because you're trying to kill some guy that she was working with that you slice up, but then he sets a bomb off. I don't really remember.
Maybe that's the guy on top of the building.
No, you are right. Monsoon, you fight in front of the building, but then you run up the top of the building because then you fight Sunbreaker or something like his name. He's the big guy with the 2 swords that killed your prime minister friend in the beginning of the game.
You fight a helicopter.
You have to. It's a Metal Gear game.
You run on top of missiles, which is pretty cool.
But I want to talk about that Monsoon fight, like leading up to it, where Monsoon like messes with his brain, and he's like, "You're killing people that have no choice. How do you feel, you murderer?" And like he just stops fighting.
That's the type of stuff that I was like, yeah, the story should be this. Like Raiden dealing with being a cyborg who is basically programmed to kill since he was a child. Mm-hmm. Like that should have been the story, you know? And
but
then
man, that part good when Monsoon, and like you can't really fight either. Like you're supposed to avoid the enemies because you really just can't even fight until. Yes. And then Monsoon is kicking his ass, and I like it where he's like, turn off the pain, the things that turn. He's like, turn on the pain. And I was like, what? He's like, I turn on the pain sensor. Then he stabs himself. It's fucking intense.
And that's where the game lost me again, though.
Oh man, I liked it. He's like, I'm Jack the Ripper, and I'm like. Okay, and then essentially you get like a berserk mode type thing where you press in L3, R3, and you get to do more damage.
That was too much for me. I was like, no.
I kind of liked it.
I don't know. It was just the whole delivery of like, call me Jack the Ripper, you know? It's like...
I mean, it's corny, but it's Metal Gear. You know, and this wasn't written by Kojima, or it would have been something else. That scene would have went on for another hour. And the cutscene would have flashed back to him as a kid and had real life cutscenes of child soldiers.
We would have gotten Phil Lamar as Vamp again, you know? Because
he's a really cool person, by the way.
Raiden would have been pontificating about the time he fought Vamp. Like,
I actually got to meet Phil Lamar at a convention.
That's so cool.
And when I was talking to him, because I had him sign a Green Lantern John Stewart Funko Pop, because I didn't have anything of, and I even said like, I loved you as Vamp, but I was like, I don't have any Vamp merch. And he quoted something as Vamp in the Vamp voice. Just obviously did it right there, and I'm like, you are good.
I watched a lot of Mad TV growing up, so when I found out he voiced Vamp, I was like, that best character then. Like, hands down.
He did Wilt in Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends too, didn't he? Or am I thinking of another? Like, he's one of those like very prolific voice actors, and that I get confused.
He's in a lot of stuff. But if you meet him and you mention like a character, he will then do that voice for you as a character.
Yeah, he did Wilt.
I thought so. That's such a great show.
It is a really good show.
Never seen it.
I probably started watching that show because I learned Phil Lamar was on it. I was like super into Phil Lamar.
Nothing wrong with him. He's a good voice actor.
Yeah, he's really good.
Odd choice for Vamp, just because Vamp, but it's cool. He does a great job as Vamp.
Oh, he pulls it off so well. Like,
I wish there was more. I wish I had Metal Gear Solid Funko Pops. They don't exist, but I wish they did.
bro, get the pachinko machine.
Oh, yeah.
Have him sign the pachinko machine.
Hey, I got a Jon Stewart sign. You know, it looks nice on my shelf somewhere near me. So
Jon
Stewart's
Stewart's
got something.
Best Green Lantern in the comics, not in that Justice League cartoon, because they just turned Jon Stewart into Hal Jordan. It drove me insane.
Loved his Daily Show too.
So like, I feel like this game progresses well. Like we were talking about, because you fight Monsoon, which that fight is annoying because that guy takes a lot of fucking hits because he keeps like splitting apart and you can't hurt him. And then you get to the top of the building and then you fight I think it's Sundowner or Sunbreaker. It's Sun something. I'm unfortunately not have it pulled up because I kind of care, but not completely care. But I like it that you end up.
Metal Gear Solid fans are screaming at their phone like, "It's Sundowner!"
But also Sundown is a thing when you have dementia. So I'm not sure if that's it or I just combined in stuff.
His name is Sundowner.
Oh, okay. That also is a symptom of dementia too, by the way. Sundowning. So it's where the sun goes down and you start to get more confused. You're welcome for your MedTech 101. So that's when you fight him. I do like him. I thought that fight was good where he brings up like the shield and you have to go into the hold down L2 and then slice through particular parts of the shield. And then I like that. I thought that was a good fight.
I fucked that fight up so much because I'm very bad. But I just kept
not
like
bad at video games, sir.
He would bring up his shield and I would just instinctively hit X. And then he'd like wombo combo me. I'm like, I know I need to hold left trigger. Like I know what I need to do. But my caveman brain says, hit the X button.
Oh, but they make a good team of bosses. Like, you know, we were saying Metal Gear is always known for those, like, you know, everyone remembers the team of Foxhound. And I want to say most people will remember the team in 4. I forgot the Beast, the Beauty and the Beast, I think is what they're called. It's been a bit. And then, you know, you have 3. You have, God, what the fuck are their names?
In 3 or in 4?
What's the name of the team?
4, they're Beauty and the Beast.
4 is Beauty and the Beast. 3, I don't remember the name of the team.
Cobras. I just remember the fear.
The fear, the fury, the pain, the sorrow. Great fucking bosses. And then Dead Cell, but no one talks about Dead Cell. Fuck Dead Cell. Like, you know, this game captures the good team. I just don't remember the name of the command of that PMC because it's irrelevant. But I think it's Desperados. Yeah, I think it's Desperado. But then the last one that you fight is Jetstream Sam. But what I do like is after you kill Sundowner, which is the leader, which the whole point of this is that he went to Mexico, found out that they're harvesting brains. And so then he ends up finding out that he has to go after he goes to the headquarters. No, when he does go to the headquarters, that's when he has to leave the PMC he works for because he's attacking Denver, Colorado. And what he's doing is against the law because the PMC works for the government. Who would have thought that the USA government would hire evil people? Who would have thought? But like that's the whole, and I do like that. I think that's cool that when he does join and they're like, yeah, you're no longer part of this group. We can't sanction what you do. And they're like, we're on an encrypted channel. All right, we'll help you. Be my categories. And then that's when you fight Jetstream Sam at some point. Maybe it's before you go to Colorado. I can't remember. I just know you fight Jetstream Sam near the end, where the whole level is just a fight against him. It was just fun. In
the desert, and your cool dog buddy is with you.
It's such a cool because you have such build up with him. Yeah. Because he was the one that cut you up early in the games. Like you want that revenge for what he did to you.
Yeah, very, very dumb name, Jetstream Sam. Like
that's cool.
Very cool boss fight.
I'm trying to think. Was there a motorcycle level in this game, or am I making up things?
Colby,
do you remember?
I don't think you
remember.
Think you write it. I think
Okay.
you write it, but you don't control it. Like it's just in a cutscene, and I think that's on the way to fight Jetstream Sam. Because I feel like that cutscene played, and I was like, please tell me I don't have to be on a motorcycle.
See, I played too many games lately, and this has been a couple weeks. I can't remember this game. Not that I didn't enjoy it. Just it's a short, quick romp where you just run through this game. No, it's a server room he goes to where he finds out about the brains, and then that's when he kills Sundowner on the roof, and then that's what leads him, I think, to go against the military. I think that's when he betrays when he betrays the U.S. government, essentially, or goes after the U.S. government because he finds out that the senator is working with them. Because at one point you do see the senator, like you're hiding an event or something, and you see the senator.
Yeah, I thought that was when you're in the lab,
Maybe
and then he's like, we need to get to Denver like right now. And then his team is like, oh, that's not a good idea, right? And like, that's on American soil, et cetera, et cetera. And he goes, okay, well then you guys aren't with me on this. But maybe that's when he's going to break into the building anyway, because they're like, we can't be part of this.
Yeah, because he essentially becomes, a criminal, a felon. So
yeah, but they still like help him on the sly,
This game is just so much random action.
Yeah, I for all the shit I talked about liking the story and the writing, I could not tell you what happened besides like the broad strokes of this game.
And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you weren't playing this game for the story.
No, I wasn't. I did the first time, but that was, like I said, a year ago, and I don't remember what happened 3 days ago.
You were playing this just to murder things. Oh, there is a fun Easter egg where you can actually find a guy inside a cardboard box multiple times, just hiding, and then murder him. I love that.
I like to murder.
And you get to hide in a cardboard box too, which is funny. Like I like that they worked in a few Metal Gear things in here. And this game has QTEs, which I don't mind QTEs. They weren't too bad in here. I know people hate.
I don't think they were too bad.
I don't even remember QTEs.
There's not a lot, but when you fight the gecko, sometimes there can be QTEs. There aren't a ton in this game. And it also, in the first mission, I do want to mention, you fight a Metal Gear Ray, which I thought was really cool, because it's to show, hey, remember how cool Metal Gear Rays were? Like, here's one right in the beginning to show you we have way more powerful stuff coming down the road. I think Denver, I just know at one point, like, their whole plan is to get to wherever you have to get to, because they're going to launch a nuke or something. Oh, they're going to kill the president. That's what you find out is going on. The Colorado senator is going to kill the president of the United States to start a war in the Middle East. So then he can use that to gain power, because he's going to be running the election in 2020, and he's currently the favored candidate.
Are we getting close? I'm excited for this rant. I don't know about anybody else.
It's getting there. Oh, so it'll be, but like, and that's kind of what's going on. Like, I do like though when he's like, I got to get in this rocket to get sent there. Oh yeah, that's when you fight Jetstream Sam. When he's riding in the desert, then you fight Jetstream Sam. Then he gets to the rocket, and that's when you see Sonny from Metal Gear Solid 4, which was really cool. Also, I learned how to make eggs because of Metal Gear Solid 4, and I put the pan just like Naomi told me to do. Put the cover on top of the pan, and it makes it better. Thank you, Naomi. I'm not kidding either. That's how I make eggs now. My wife's like, oh, these are great. I'm like, thank you, Metal Gear Solid 4 loading screens.
I don't want to derail this too much, but speaking of Metal Gear Solid influencing real lives, I played Metal Gear Solid when I was young. And then when I went to school and we were learning about the Watergate scandal, I was like, bro, that's from Metal Gear Solid? Like, what's this doing in my history book?
No, I mean, that's what makes Metal Gear so special, too, is that it incorporates real-life events. I mean, I also have jokingly that, like, Kojima, like, because I think it's Metal Gear Solid 2 that talks about how the internet will eventually take over and people will be fed false information and believe it. That never happened. I've never met someone that said they get their information from memes and YouTube. No, never. I have, unfortunately. He's like, no, I don't trust the news. They're all fake. You got to trust YouTube.
Yeah. I don't understand the thinking behind those types of people.
I watched a lot of documentaries that explain 2016 a lot better to understand how things happened the way they did in our reality. So, and if you think he didn't win because of memes, you are wrong.
Oh yeah.
There's a documentary about Anonymous on Netflix that talks about where some of that stuff started. And they were like, yeah, it was a bunch of assholes that were just started making memes, and then they were cheering when Trump won. Like, yeah, we tricked people to vote for memes.
Yeah.
That's real.
Yeah.
So, I mean, no, Kojima predicts the future. I mean, this game came out, 2013?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. So eventually, after you fight Jetstream Sam, you get launched in a rocket. And then you go to, then that's when you fight the Colorado senator. But first, before you fight him, he's driving a giant Metal Gear. This is a fucking awesome Metal Gear.
Yeah, it looks awesome, and it's a pretty fun fight too.
It's like a giant mech tank. I mean, the thing is huge.
Yeah,
and you have to cut his legs up.
Yeah,
to eventually weaken it.
Yeah, I think everything in this game is very 2005 like awesome, dude. Like,
Yes.
and which in 2005 was obnoxious, but like when I played it in 2024, I'm like, this really this really captures a lot of what it was like to be alive in 20 in like the mid 20. I don't know when this was like written and everything. I know it came out, 10 years after that, but it felt like something that was like
2011. I think they only had 2 years to make this game too.
Okay. Yeah, it felt like a very specific place and time of when this stuff was awesome. And it was annoying then, but it's like nostalgic now.
Yeah, because it's been years and the world is a hellscape.
Yeah.
I mean, things are not the same after 2020. Like they
No.
just are not, and they never
No.
will be.
No.
Like sometimes I forget about it because I worked during all of 2020. So I'm like, what are you guys talking about? Lockdown. I went to work every day. What are you talking about? Like, but yeah, for some people, it's like, yeah, we were just locked in our houses with nothing to do. And I'm like, that would have been nice, sit and play video games all day. Oh.
Yeah.
I think this game came out in the wrong time because now people enjoy the nice breeziness of it. Like, it's damn fun. But back in 2013, that's not what people were looking for in games, I feel like. Like, that was kind of like when big open world games were like really popular.
Yeah.
And if you weren't getting, 30 plus hours out of your video game, it is not worth $60.
That's also true. Yeah, that this was also a very specific time in video games.
Yeah, so I feel like it got overlooked. It got rated. I mean, I feel like I remember a lot of 7s and 8s, but like,
This is just a fun game for what it is.
But
Like,
it came with the caveat of like, oh, it's short. And then it just kind of led to, well, we don't want to play it.
Yeah, and back then I probably also would have been like, "Oh, this is too short." But now I'm like, yes,
Absolutely,
a 6-hour game.
Oh, I love 6-hour games. I'm like, whoo.
It's
And
my
the Metal
favorite
Gear
amount of time for a game to be.
Is Metal Gear Excelsius is what it's called too, which is this I think is my favorite Metal Gear at this point. It's just
I thought you were talking about the game. I was like, why didn't they go with Metal
No,
Gear
not the game.
Excelsius?
The Metal Gear is
That's
called Metal
fucking
Gear.
rad.
And then after you beat Excelsius, you fight Senator Armstrong. The first fight, he ends up killing you or beating you. You have to lose, and then you're able to do the real fight with him. And the whole thing is he's a normal senator, but he has nanomachines, so he's really powerful. And so, political warning coming. Rant ahead.
Did you see what his body looked like when he starts going? He was not a normal guy with nanomachines in him.
Yeah, he's still. But okay, my rant here. So when I was playing this, there are two things I thought. One, I was thinking that when I saw Senator Armstrong, I'm like, this is what some of the idiots think Trump is. When you see all those dumb drawings of Trump as Rambo and all buffed, I'm like, the guy is over 300 pounds. He's heavy set. He eats McDonald's all the time. Like, this is not this buff hero. And that's what people think when certain people think of Trump. They see this guy, and that's all I could think of. And I'm like, this is kind of a
Trump thinks of Trump. He sees this guy.
Yes.
Yeah, you could. I mean, the funniest. I'm mad about how funny some of the Trump stuff is because as a comedy writer, I try to craft my jokes and I spend so many hours on it, and then this motherfucker puts out cards and what do you call those? He puts out these
the NFTs.
The NFT cards of himself as a cowboy and an astronaut and a race car driver. And I'm like, this is the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen. And he wasn't even trying.
They were also stock photos.
I know.
By the way. They were stock photos that he found and put his face on it.
People paid hundreds of dollars for it. And it's the funniest thing that ever happened. And he wasn't trying. And I'm so mad about it.
I mean, and then when I was playing this game, I took a screenshot and sent it to the group, but there literally is a line where Senator Armstrong says, "I'm going to make America great again." And I'm just like, good job, guys. Like, you predicted the future without even knowing it. And it just, I had to pause the game and just start laughing because I'm like, this is just too funny because it's just all I could think of. Like, here you have this corrupted guy who want to start a war because war is how he's going to take power and stay in power and boost the economy. And it's not that far off. And I feel like what Trump was trying to do in real life, he was trying to start a war. He just couldn't, but he was trying to.
Yep.
Because if you look at history, if you have a war, the president gets voted in almost every single time if you're at war. Like they will be renewed. And if you look throughout history with dictators, they all have taken over by having some event happen so they can blame the other guy, which is what he was doing here. He was going to blame the terrorist in this Middle East country for killing the president when it really was just him doing it. And I was watching a documentary called How to Be a Dictator on Netflix, narrated by Peter Dinklage. Really damn good, by the way. Definitely go check it out. And it talked about all the stuff that dictators do throughout history. And I was like, yep, Trump tried that. Trump tried that. Trump tried that. Oh, Senator Armstrong tried that. He tried, like, it all goes right in it goes together, and it was fucking hilarious.
Are you guys ready for a zinger?
Sure.
Okay. But there was a war when Trump was in office, and it was between his belly and that belt buckle.
And for people that get upset when I get political, I normally hold it in, but to be honest, when the game literally has a joke saying "Make America Great Again," 3 years before he runs for president, I have to get political.
I really hope he has never been near this video game. Like, I hope he never, watched a YouTube playthrough of it and he said, "Make America Great Again. That's a good idea."
I mean, to be fair, as a guy who studies history a bit, Reagan used the same slogan, "Make America Great Again." Mm-hmm. I think other presidents have too. Hitler, "Make Germany Great Again." It was close to it.
Yeah, it's definitely a strongman, dictator type of thing that they love to bring out.
It's very right wing, no matter how far right wing you want to go, but it's a very common thing throughout history that different people have used something close to it. So I mean, that's why this game had it. But it's just hilarious to me because as someone who was born in 1987, I never thought of Reagan. I didn't know until later that was a Reagan slogan too. This is something I didn't realize until later. But it's because of Trump in 2016 why it's now going to be ingrained in our brains forever, unfortunately. And I hate it. And if people say it, I'm like, you better be sarcastic when you said "make this great again." Otherwise, you're a piece of shit to me. So yeah, I mean, I couldn't help it. I'm like, man, they're just predicting the future again. So fucking Metal Gear. Hey, at least, but in this case, our fake person wasn't that powerful.
That's something to be grateful for. Trump sucks and he was horrible and he did a lot of terrible things, but at least he wasn't competent. If he would have been competent, he could have done some real damage.
Mm-hmm. The insurrection, it could have went very, very differently. Absolutely. Had he not been hiding. Yeah. As a student.
I'm often because at first I was like, oh man, we need to, get Trump out of there. But then I'm like, no, wait, but Pence is evil, but also could probably get stuff done because he would seem reasonable after Trump. So that would have probably been worse. So it was better to let the buffoon stay and do his buffoonery and get over it.
When I was in Tennessee last month, I did see 2 mega stores that I drove by. And I was like, oh, God. I did not go in either one, but I did see them and just shook my head. I'm like, hey, grifter's got a grift.
Yeah. I mean, and it makes some money. I don't understand. Everybody's like, oh, yeah, this guy's a billionaire and he's this and that. And he has so much money. And then it's like, I'm going to give him money to pay for his legal fees. And it's like.
Yeah, because you have an Elon Musk hat at home, right, too? Because he sells hats and he sells shirts with his face on it, too, right?
Yeah. Well, Elon's
he might, but
a totally different thing. But
he's also a fucking idiot and rich. Hey, I warned. I knew. I was waiting for this episode to get political. I don't get to very often.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I bring out political stuff every once in a while when I'm on the show. But yeah,
I think every episode of Games My Mom Found should just be like, "Hey, Trump sucks and Nazis are evil."
Nazis are evil.
I know, right? I'm like, bro, your generation fought Nazis. Why are you encouraging them back?
I do not understand how people are like, oh yeah, take the politics out of my games. Like, how can Wolfenstein be about killing Nazis? That's political. It's like, fucking, first of all, that's always been Wolfenstein. That's been Wolfenstein since the 1990s. And
yes,
second
and
of
that's
all,
just what it's about.
shooting and killing Nazis should not be like a two-sided issue. Like, you
It's
kill
not.
Nazis. Like,
American
that's what
tradition.
you do. Yeah, fucking
Like-
kill Nazis.
Yeah, they were the main enemy in every media, video game thing until 2001, 2002. Like,
Russian, when you had the Cold War, when the Cold War starts, Russian eventually becomes more of a thing. But yes, I mean, and it makes sense when you look at everything that happened with Nazi Germany and what they did. And as a guy who I have studied a lot about Germany and about stuff like that, like, we are lucky looking back that he was as stupid as he was and had the people in charge that he did, because had he had incompetent people that weren't busy in mass murdering, they might have won the war instead of concentrating their efforts on things that did not help them win the war. So it's weird, but I know a lot about history, fortunately. I really love World War II stuff. I'm a huge, if I could, there is one spot and I would love to see, which I will never see in my life, because in Russia there is a barricade up where they have like a statue of how far Germany got before they were pushed back. I would love to see that spot, because that's the moment the world starts to really changes the world. They wouldn't have stopped them, but I can never go to Russia because I'm an American, so would not happen. All right, after our rant, and then this game. So after you kill Senator Armstrong, the game ends to set up a sequel where Raiden says he's going to go hunt down more of these cyborgs. And then that's his goal. But then the game ends and we never get a sequel. And we never will. Unfortunately, I mean, because Konami.
Yeah.
There is DLC where you get to play as Blade Wolf. And I think there's DLC where you play a Jetstream Sam too. Like for VR missions or something. I
did not get any DLC for this because I played it on Xbox 360 and the store is closed.
I mean, I played this on Steam just like Nate, but I wouldn't bother with DLC. Like I
don't even remember seeing DLC on the store page
either. I mean, it's possible. It's just let's look while we're talking.
I don't have my Steam Deck with me.
It's behind me, but I'm just pulled up this. I have my computer in front of me.
Oh yeah,
you can't even buy the DLC.
Steam is on the PC. Did you guys know that they have Steam on a computer?
Never knew. I don't even see DLC up here to buy. Just the game.
I was gonna say I don't remember seeing like a bundle.
Oh, it's included.
They have a bundle.
This new PC version includes all 3 DLC missions: Blade Wolf, Jetstream, and VR missions, in addition to all customized body upgrades for Ride. So all the DLC is in the game now, so you can't buy it separate. So we had it, we just didn't know nor care because we didn't care.
Yeah, I didn't even
DLC.
Look, I
more
wouldn't
like
have been able
didn't
to play it anyway.
See. I mean, the game's enough for itself. I didn't need more. 6 hours. I had fun. Put the game down, uninstalled it. I'm happy to play it. So, but yeah, there's DLC for this game. It does exist. Anything else to say before we go on to questions, comments, or memories?
No.
Okay. I'm glad I got that rant out of me. I was waiting for that. So I posted in a few groups. I did get more than I expected. First, from I watched the entire Overblood replay group from Nabil as a Nano Machine Son from Nick Luderman. This is the game that made me realize that no matter how cool and flashy the game looks, no matter how much I like the world and characters, I just don't like action games. Fair?
You see, I'm the opposite. But that's why they make, I've said it on this show before. That's why they make hundreds of games a year.
Oh, yeah.
Because everybody's into something different.
And some people just want to play Call of Duty nonstop.
Yeah, and that's fine.
You can just say
Microsoft
Nate.
will take your money.
You can just say me.
You play a lot of different games, though.
They just revealed Black Ops 6 today. I really enjoyed Cold War, and I'm mad at myself because, if I hadn't played Cold War, I'd been like, who gives a shit? But I was like, man, Cold War was good.
Nothing wrong with enjoying them. I mean, I don't like multiplayer, so that takes a lot out for me.
Yeah.
I don't want to play multiplayer games. I've tried to play with friends, and I just can't do it. I just don't like multiplayer. It just doesn't work for me.
I'm just talking about the single player. The last great multiplayer in Call of Duty was Modern Warfare 2019, and it's been downhill ever since. But the single player for Modern Warfare 2019 and Cold War, superb.
I'll have to try them. I haven't.
Single players on Game Pass, I'll play them.
They're fun. We did the Modern Warfare trilogy on this show, and I'm actually doing Advanced Warfare soon, so they're fun. Okay. From Sebastian Games, honestly, has one of my favorite soundtracks in the character action genre. I don't remember the soundtrack because I've played too many things since then.
Me neither.
Okay. From Quentin Crowe, it's on the complete opposite end of the stealth spectrum, but damn if it isn't cool and fun as hell. Yeah, it's not wrong. And from, God, I got a lot of comments here. I won't be able to read all of them, but I'll see what I can do. From Metal Gear Solid Outer Heaven Group, Jack Travis Raymond, Platinum was great. They're still around, aren't they? They didn't go out of business, right?
Platinum?
Yeah.
Yes. I thought they had...
Oh, they're still they're making something.
They just did Bayonetta 3, didn't they?
Yeah, they did Bayonetta 3 in 2022 and Bayonetta Origins 2023.
And they did the 13th... No, the one on the Switch about the cops.
Astral Chain 2019.
Astral Chain.
That was before the world ended, by the way.
Yeah.
So, and before this podcast came out too, the podcast was around when Astral Chain came out. We talked about it once in the green a little bit. Yeah, no, I don't know. All right, and then from Kai CB, it doesn't fit the series. It's a different twist to the usual Metal Gear game with stealth and espionage, where there's consequences when getting detected. It'd be better off as a spinoff. It is a spinoff. So, okay, that's what someone else commented too right below him. From Will A. Hamar, this was a spinoff done right. Never cared for Raiden as a character, so I guess making him a ninja helped. Soundtrack is 10 out of 10 for any metalheads, though. Colby, did you listen to the soundtrack at all for this or remember it?
I don't remember it.
Okay.
It's, I guess, fine, because it didn't stick out for not liking it, but it didn't stick out for liking it either. So, like, it's probably just one of those where it's like, yep, this music goes with this game.
Okay. I can't remember. I mean, I probably play without sound to annoy me here and there, but I just don't remember. From Justin Blaze, lore was terrible. Worst codec crew of any game. Stealth was shoehorned and completely useless. It was a complete afterthought. Boss battles sucked.
Wow.
From Neil Movani.
To be that wrong, guy.
I agree with him on the stealth. I don't even know why they were.
Well, somebody else commented and said, go home. So
Raiden. They were like, Raiden, don't, try not to engage everybody you see. I'm like, I have a sword. Like, this guy is going down.
From Neo Movani, I love it. Armstrong, one of the best Metal Gear Solid villains in the whole series. From Ellie Bainton, Monsoon and Armstrong were awesome. Spent many hours playing this and still do. They need to bring it out on PS5. From Richard Parker.
No, they need to get my Silent Hill 2 remake to me first, and then we can do that.
From Richard Parker, I got a funny as hell story for you about this game. So when I got it first came out, I was so addicted to the game one night. While I was sleeping, my wife said I was doing ninja slices in my sleep and accidentally hit her in the face. Since then, it's been on the shelf. But yeah, this game was dope. The parry system is a shit. And you know what? I bet your wife never let you forget that you did that. Because my wife don't let me forget the dumb shit I've done. So it just keeps coming back. And from Lee Kashka, I remember back in the day when we heard there was a MGS Raiden game, full ninja style, I was so excited, and then I played this god-awful, ridiculous crap. It completely unjustified everything Solid Snake did, knowing this was the future anyway. Cyborgs cutting up Rays in one hit. All right. From Jared Adams, a lot of fun. It was a pretty cool seeing Jack turn into Jack the Ripper. It definitely gave him the balls that he was missing in Metal Gear Solid 2, even though we saw his balls when we did his cartwheels. Actually, you can't see anything. But if you try hard enough, there's nothing there if you end up getting it to go right in Metal Gear Solid 2. It didn't put anything there on purpose. And I know for a fact, because my girlfriend at the time, a long, long time ago, tried it and told me that she did it. And that stuck with me all this time. From Kyle Kendall, it's got all the ridiculousness, techno thriller lore, and messages of a typical Metal Gear game. It was a nice change of pace after all the stealth games. I enjoyed Metal Gear Raiden. Personally, he wasn't instantly absolved of all his sins and traumas like Metal Gear Solid 4 implied. From Bride Dano, needs either a remake or a sequel. And from Joe Facile, finished playing it not long ago. Awesome game. I think someday I will plat it. Right. And I got a couple more from the official Laser Time community. From Paul Duffy. I made it to the boss and couldn't beat him. This might be the only time that's ever happened to me. Yeah, no, he can be hard. I had a hard time with that Senator too. The first time I played this game, I remember that. From Chris Lichos, it's a great game. First hour is amazing. It doesn't keep that pace up, but it's still really fun. Super challenging with the higher difficulty. I love playing with the sideboard ninja skin. And from Greg Moore, I think this and Vanquish are Platinum's best work.
Oh, yeah.
I have never played Platinum, but I have bought it multiple times and really want to play it one day.
Vanquish, not Platinum.
Oh, Vanquish, yeah.
Vanquish is
really want to play
awesome.
Vanquish.
Vanquish is awesome.
I own it. I'm looking at it right now. It's on Steam. And I also have a PS3 and 360 copy.
Yep. Nope. He's right. Vanquish is better than Nier Automata. Vanquish rules. Also about a 5-hour game, so put that on the
it might
schedule.
happen next year on the show. Unfortunately, this year is booked, but maybe next year I'll finally make myself play it.
And there was a dedicated smoke button to make you smoke.
Okay.
Because you're a cool guy.
Right, and before we go to shelf, I want a shelf stacker box. I want to give out a code. Let's see here. I think I'm gonna. Here, we'll do this. Here's a code for a fun game, open world game I never played, but I should. Sunset Overdrive. This is the Steam code for Sunset Overdrive. It's WDGN6QBAXJ7349F. That is your Steam code for Sunset Overdrive.
Sunset Overdrive is a great game. Pick that one up.
I have it. I bought it for Xbox One. It was the first game I got my Xbox One.
Yeah.
Still never played it. Should really do that one day.
You should. It rules.
All right, let's go to Shelf Stacker Box. And let's start with Nate. What about you?
Did you start with me because I'm the lowest on this game?
I would never do that.
There a little thing?
Yes.
I would put this in the box, to be honest. I don't like it. Even though I think
That's fine.
all the bosses are cool and they're very flashy when you are a god gamer like I am on easy with the parry system turned on. But yeah, I don't ever see myself going back to this game.
No, that's fine. And I'll go next. The problem is I can't remember what I think about this game really because it's been 2 weeks and the game kind of like just drifted from my memory, which is I'm going to still put it on the shelf because I had fun. I like Metal Gear. I didn't bitch about this game when I was playing. I just enjoyed myself, and it was a fun 6 hours. So going on the shelf, and I'm really glad to finally replay it. And now it's part of the show, and people can always have my rant about Trump in the show now. And Colby.
Yeah, I agree. This goes on the shelf. I mean, I'm glad that because sometimes I play stuff like whatever's most convenient for me. And I think if I would have played it on my Series S on my 4K TV, I probably would have had a different experience. But I think playing the original game on the 360 on that plasma TV, it sounds like it really helped. So if you can get a copy for the 360 and you have an old TV with low latency, you'll probably have a better time with it. I guess not everybody's like me with like 3 TVs in their living room so that they can play different video games at all times. But if you have access to something like that, check it out on the original hardware, apparently.
You have an old tube TV, don't you?
I don't have an old tube TV anymore because my tube TV broke and I just don't have room because I would want another big one and I filled in the space from that TV with other stuff.
No, that's fair. I don't have any. I would never go down that road of having a tube TV.
Yeah. I'm thinking, what the hell is that thing called? They did just make a new TV that like you hook up to, I think, a mister and it syncs with the mister and it like fixes the latency automatically and like adds in the scan lines and does all sorts of like really cool shit for emulation. I'm thinking about getting one of those, but they're very expensive for what they are. So
okay,
I'll put it in the Discord when I remember what it's called.
That's fine. And join our Discord, people. It's free. You'll see a link in the show notes. Join our Discord.
Yeah, and you get to hear me go, man, Crow Country looks so fucking cool. I'm gonna buy it, and then never buy it. So that's fun.
Hey, you know this thing called Steam sales? They're coming again. We haven't got the summer one yet. We just had the spring one.
Dude,
so.
There's a platinum trophy.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah. Never mind, Emmanuel. So, and I should see what we're talking about next week. Next week, you can hear me talk about Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance as I continue my quest to cover all of Kingdom Hearts.
Which, hey, speaking of the Discord, someone in the Discord, Joe Butler, said no spoilers for Kingdom Hearts, please. And I said at this point in the series, you wouldn't even understand the spoilers. Like you wouldn't know what's real, what's fake, what's memes, what's not.
And join the Discord so you can tell me how that episode was because I'm not going to listen to Kingdom Hearts episode.
Oh God, I forgot.
Everybody should write mail to Michael Colby about how good Kingdom Hearts is.
And I forgot, I actually had a few comments in the Discord. People actually said stuff, and I was going to put it there, but oh well, we'll just do it here. At least it'll be in the episode. That's what matters. Yes, I could edit it, but I don't want to.
No,
So let's see here.
this is
I got
for the
one
real
from
ones.
if you're still here. From Joe Butler. I love Metal Gear Rising. Did you know the game was supposed to be a prequel to Metal Gear Solid 4 about Raiden saving Sonny? I prefer the product we got at the end, though. All the bosses are great. The music is the best part of the game, and Saucy Jack is my favorite Metal Gear Solid character. I hope you do the mini where you play a Jetstream Sam, plus the ending where you get Sam's red sword is one of my favorite anime tropes. And from Watt L, I remember playing it and going, this is nothing like Metal Gear. Also, some of those boss fights for Dark Souls level frustrating. There you go. Join our Discord. You can do comments and memories, and when people do it more often, I'll remember to read it on time. Because for a while, like I did it, and nobody was like replying, so I just kind of stopped. And I'm like, I should do it again because we're starting to get more people in the Discord, so it's starting to get a little bigger.
This is a reminder for future me to go leave comments for Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance.
It's already there. You already did leave comments saying that nothing would make sense. But leave other comments I actually can read.
Oh yeah.
All right. And Nate, where can we find you at?
Hey, you can find me at my house talking about Kingdom Hearts. Did you guys know that college athletes are now going to get paid directly by schools? That's breaking news from my laptop.
That's good.
You can find me. It is good. You can find me on TikTok at Nate Does Comedy 79, or if you're in Ohio, just show up to random open mics. I might be there,
But not making TikToks apparently.
but not, dude. I'm telling you. Look, I have an open mic June 1st. I'll just pimp this one out, I guess. June 1st at the Old Burger Bar in Detroit. So go there. I'll
Detroit,
be there.
Michigan? Or Detroit, Ohio?
Detroit, Michigan. There's a Detroit, Ohio?
I don't know.
I don't think
No.
there is.
I'm going up to I'm carpooling with some other comedians to Detroit, Michigan. So that'll be
There's
fun.
not a Detroit, Ohio. I tried.
Okay. That's fine.
You never know. Never
Dude,
know.
there's like 15 Fayettevilles in America. So like that's crazy.
There's more 2 Bloomingtons. There's an Austin, Minnesota. Not to confuse Austin, Texas, but there's Austin, Minnesota, home of the Spam Museum.
How funny would it be if I'm going to start telling people I took a vacation to Austin, and when they start talking about Texas, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking? Minnesota, dude. Like,
Hey, I drove to Austin, Minnesota, an hour and a half from me to go see the Spam Museum, sir. Or 2 hours from me.
the stand or the stand?
Spam. 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 That meat that comes in a can.
Oh, I have a good bit about Spam.
It was actually worth the drive to go to the Spam Museum, which is free, and you get a bunch of free samples, and I bought a bunch of Spam.
Spam's delicious.
It was actually worth it. Besides the part where I ran my leg into the picnic bench because I wasn't paying attention where I was walking, that really fucking hurt. It was worth it. Yeah. All right. And Colby, where can people find you at?
You can find me not on social media, but look for my podcasts wherever cod pieces are sold. Podcasts are sold. Jack Billings Presents, where we just finished up our 2nd season. We're gearing up to start the 3rd season, which is going to be insane. And unless you're from Ohio, you can listen to This Bizarre Adventure, which is a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure podcast, where my co-host is from Detroit and absolutely hates the state of Ohio and bitches about it every time they have a chance.
What if you're from Ohio and you love JoJo's Bizarre Adventure?
As long as you don't love Ohio more, it should be okay.
I think.
Well, I have to. So my father-in-law is the only Ohio State fan in his house, and I have to be an Ohio State fan because I'm banging his daughter. So, like, that's how I get in good graces.
This is a fun episode, guys.
This is good. Yeah.
This is some grade A material right here. Hopefully people are still listening.
Everybody who checked out after the Sunset Overdrive code got given away is missing out.
You know, people have learned to keep listening if you see the timer doesn't stop. So
our audience for Jack Billings also listens all the way through because they know that we put bloopers in at the end. The real ones will stick around for the whole thing because a lot of times after the plugs is where you get the craziest shit happening.
Yes, I mean, I turn off immediately with some of the podcasts I listen to, like Comic Conspiracy gets the plugs and I'm out the door. But I've heard them enough times. All right. If you enjoyed this episode, over 600 other episodes, you can find everything we do on Podbean. So if you want to support the show, please join our Patreon. Little dog, you join our Patreon. You will see a link in the show notes to that. And as we mentioned, join our Discord. That's free. You'll see a link in the show notes to that. We're always happy new people join us. I want to give a shout out to our awesome intro and outro courtesy of Helena at Hell Has Fury on TikTok, Twitch, and Instagram. Definitely go support her and check her out. And want to give a shout out to Bill Tucker with the Gamer Looks at 4. Definitely go support him. Great. He's covering the Final Fantasy series right now. Great guy, great podcast. And shout out to Nomads of Fantasy, another podcast I work with, Nintendo Main Podcast, Talk Games, Chew Bubblegum, Bias Gaming, just to name a couple. And please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, Blue Sky, TikTok, YouTube, audio only. You can find us on all things. And please rate and review us wherever we get your podcast. I think that's everything I need to say. So we will see you guys all next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.